Hi guys, my name is Clista and I'm in English 302 with all of you. Today I wanted to provide some of my thoughts on question number 9, which had a quote on it from page 112 that read, "In spite of everything, kids were trying to look hip even under the risk of arrest." I thought there were a lot of examples throughout the whole book of kids risking being arrested in order to enjoy the things that they wanted to do and just be a normal kid like everybody else. One of the things that happened pretty often was they would have parties where they would be dancing and listening to loud music and even sometimes drinking and smoking, and I think quite often they got in trouble for these kinds of things. But even little things like getting certain haircuts or wearing the veil a certain way would get them into trouble. I thought one of the most interesting things that showed the kind of rebellious side of people and how the consequences for it was when Marjane's parents traveled to Turkey, and she really wanted them to bring her back some music posters, but her parents were trying to figure out how they were going to get the posters back without damaging them, but without also getting them compensated. So the mom had the idea of removing the lining from the dad's jacket and putting the posters in there flattened, and then sewing the lining back on. But this just shows, how much effort they had to go through to just get something as simple as a poster back home. And my boyfriend actually is from Afghanistan, and I was talking about him with some of the stuff, and he would say, they would do that with even just family photos, trying to get family photos into another city. They would have to sew them into the pocket linings of their jackets and things like that. So it's pretty crazy. It's a lot different than it is from here, because when I was younger, things that I would do to be rebellious would be like taking my parents' car when I wasn't supposed to, sneaking out at night, going to parties that I probably shouldn't have been at, and I think that these were things that would have been a lot more risky for them over there just because of the difference in government, whereas here we were risking, getting grounded for a week or a little slap on the wrist. But there, Marjane talked about how they would be sent to the committees where they weren't even required to let their parents know that they were there. They could whip them, keep them for days, and so that's definitely something that we aren't used to here in the United States, but I think probably happens quite often over in Iran and some of those other Middle Eastern countries where the rules are a lot more strict. But I definitely think that Marjane was just a normal kid. She wanted to do things that made her feel like she fit in with the rest of the world, and sometimes that's just what happens when you're young and you want to rebel, and you kind of have to risk the consequences of maybe possibly getting in trouble. And but she definitely did that on a few occasions, but she lived through it. So I'll talk to you guys later.